ready.
Welcome to another episode of Buff in the Rough. Today we're going to talk to Jonathan Hayes about water moccasins, his Mount Rushmore of Hounds, building off-the-ground kennels, find out what it takes to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and a lot more. Help me welcome Jonathan Hayes to the program. Well, hey, Jonathan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Sam. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. I really appreciate you taking time out to talk to us today. I know we're going to talk about some really interesting and fun things, and people are going to really like this episode. So, again, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Well, Jonathan, for the people that maybe don't know you, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you got into hunting? You can tell us whatever you want to tell us. It could be hunting related. It could be what you like to do outside of hunting. It's just really up to you.
Okay. Well, I've hunted all my life. My dad had beagles growing up. Started coon hunting pretty hard from the time I was 5 or 6 years old. Got my first beagle when I was 9. And I've been hooked ever since. I'm 45 now, so I've been doing it for a little while.
Yeah, that is a little while. So what kind of coon dogs did you have?
My dad hunts red dogs.
Well, he sounds like a really good man because I like the red dogs myself. Any particular bloodlines that you could remember or just?
He's got a male now that's out of the Red Rocker.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. A lot of that old stuff goes back to old Timber Chopper, and that's one of my favorite bloodlines out there. I know that's going back quite a while, but boy, that's some good stuff. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Well, I was interested. One of the things when I was doing my homework on you was I noticed I think it's your kennel name is Moccasin Holler. So where does that come from? How'd you get that name?
That comes from the area where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
We live out in the country, and the area we lived in is called Moccasin Holler. So that's what I started putting in front of all my dogs' names. So.
Well, I know this might be a crazy question, but are there moccasins there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Lots of them.
Well,
when my grandpa moved into the area, it was pretty swampy. And
do you ever have to worry about running?
Lots of water moccasin. It gets its name on it. So.
So, do you ever have to worry about? Do you worry about them?
I always worry about them. Mm-hmm. I'm scared of the snake as I am a grizzly bear.
Well, I am too. Even when I see them, but we do have some water moccasins around here. We call them cottonmouths, but they just seem to have a bad disposition. They always just seem to be in a bad mood anytime you're around.
And they put me in a bad mood too.
Yeah. So. Yes, they do. Oh goodness. Well, that's interesting. So thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And it sounds like you've been doing this a long time. So I know you must have had a favorite hound or two over the years that you've personally owned that stayed at your house, that you ran and enjoyed, whether it's pleasure hunting or whether it was competition hunting. Do you have a few hounds that you just want to talk about that were some of your favorites?
I've got several of them. I've been blessed. A lot of people talk about having once-in-a-lifetime dogs. I feel like I've had more than my share. me and my cousin were kennel partners all growing up. But one of them was a female I got when I was 16 years old, Hayes' Reckless Ruby. She was very impressive. Just they didn't make conditions too bad for her. Mm-hmm. But when she jumped a rabbit, she would account for it. She was a really special little dog. Another one we had was Grand Champion, Taylor's Black Bay. She was Bramlett bred. She come from Don Bramlett over here in Kentucky. Gunsmoke Mississippi Belle was another good one. Won a whole lot of field trials with her all over the country. Multiple hounds of the year. Won the first ever Everett Morgan Classic they had. She won it in the champion class. Reckless Jolene was out of my Reckless Ruby dog, an old Lizard Creek tadpole. She finished in the top 3 in all 6 of the Big Six in 1 year. That's for Progressive Pack. That's the U.S. Championship, Everett Morgan. And then there's the North, South, East, and West Regional. And she finished in the top 3 in all 6 hunts, which is pretty impressive. Another one was the Kick 'em Up Cane that me and Neil Kimbrell owned together. He was AKC field champion. Won the runoff for it. He won the national runoff from UKC. He was a UKC grand champion. He was a grand in Little Pack and then Hall of Fame. He was in the Hall of Fame in UKC. Won just about everything we put him in. And he was an excellent producer. He's kind of my measuring stick for male dogs. And he's a grand pup out of Lizard Creek Tadpole. A lot of my stuff goes back to him through Kane. Had another really exceptional jip called Gunsmoke Dixie Goo. She was the first dog to ever go in the Hall of Fame as an open class dog. I got another one, this Bramlett bred and Northtown Frosty bred, Clemens Bunny Bustin' John. Very good reproducer, super intelligent dog. My daughter's first dog, she's one of my favorites of all time, is Ace's Ginger. She put her in the UKC Hall of Fame. She won a youth national championship with her, got on the cover of a magazine. She was a very special dog. That's it.
Oh, that's all.
That's just a few right there off the top of my head. That's just a few.
So, wow, that's
I've been very blessed. I'll say that.
That's quite a list. That's a fantastic list. That Hall of Fame mentioned multiple times. So
all of those dogs are in the Hall of Fame except my old Ruby Jip.
Wow.
I've put 22 dogs in the Hall of Fame between NKC and UKC.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. So you said Progressive Pack. What does that look like? Do the kind of hunts that you hunt in UKC versus NKC, are they the same? Are they similar in kind of how they're scored and the format? Could you just describe that a little?
UKC Performance Pack and Progressive Pack, the rules are 95% the same. They're for the same style of dog.
Well, could you tell us a little about that style? What does that look like?
Well, everybody's definition is different, I guess. You know, everybody you talk to runs an upper medium speed dog. But they're for a quick dog. They need to be clean, have a lot of track power, not be going over the end a lot. You need to hunt well, use your mouth correctly. Just use your brain. You know, I feel like Progressive Pack is as close to a gun hunting rabbit dog as any other format in there.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I know there's so many different formats out there. Even within the registries, there's several to choose from in each, and they're all a little different, and we're constantly trying to find what works for us in our part of the country and what we like to hunt. So thanks for telling us a little bit about the style that you like. So as you've been out there all these years hunting, I know you've had to run across some hounds that really caught your eye, that you thought, this is a pretty nice dog. I kind of like it. Could you tell us a little about some of those best hounds that you've hunted with over the years?
Okay. I got a little list here. It's pretty long, and I know I'm going to miss several dogs because we field trialed hard for a lot of years. Some years we go to 50-plus field trials a year. So you get to look at a lot of dogs all over the country, from Georgia to Oklahoma, north to Michigan and Pennsylvania, and everywhere in between. But a few of them would be, years ago I judged Spicer's Blueback at the Missouri State Hunt. He's a little pack dog. He was very impressive. Brinsky's Run 'em Over Tank. He's AKC field champion, won the U.S. championship. And Progressive Pack 3 times. He was the first one to do that. First time I judged him was in over a foot of snow, and he's phenomenal. Another dog was Davies Drifter, owned by Cork and Wayne and Gwee from Michigan. Terry Sudduth had Sudduth's Mississippi Homer, Mississippi Hammer. Daniel King's Dancing Rabbit's Tough Dog. Gunsmoke Blackjack and Gunsmoke Rolling On. Cruises Jim Dandy, Gunsmoke Lizard Creek Tadpole, Shallow Sir Winston, Powell's Turbo Dreamboat, Brandis Blackhawk, Sparks Oak Ridge Big Wheel, Davis Bow 3, Clemens Frostbuster, Clemens Ellie Buster, and Clemens Tough Nut. Kevin Daniels, Triple D Online Roxy was a very impressive dog as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my list of a few of them I've seen. Like I said, I know I missed a bunch. But
well, that sounds like a really good list, too. All right, I'm going to ask you a hard question now. Maybe one of the hardest questions that I ask you. If you had a Mount Rushmore of dogs, dogs that are dead or alive, they could be living today or not. They could have died many, many years ago. If you could pick 4 dogs that you would like to see hunt together, what would those 4 dogs be?
Oh, man. I've been thinking on this one. And I never could get it down to 4. I've got it down to 6 because
I'll take 6. I'll take 6.
In progressive pack, and then I even went further. I've got a 6-dog male pack and 6-dog female pack. So
fire away, whatever you want to cover.
That's as close as I could get it.
Okay.
On my male dogs, it's Kennels Kick 'em Up Cane, Brandis Blackhawk, Cruises Jim Dandy, Dancing Rabbits Tough, Lizard Creek Tadpole, and I'm trying to decide on my last one.
I know it's a tough question.
I've got 7 of them wrote down here, but I'm gonna go with Gunsmoke Blackjack.
Mm-hmm. Out of those males, if you had to go to Vegas and put a wager on it on which one you thought would win, what do you think?
Kane.
Very good. Let's talk about the girls.
All right. Tater's Black Babe, Gunsmoke Mississippi Belle, Gunsmoke Dixie Doo, Kimber's Little Peanut, Triple D's Online Roxy, and Gunsmoke Rolling On.
All right, I'm going to ask you the same question. Out of those females, what's your favorite?
Ooh, man. Oh, well, me and my cousin have debated this for the last 20 years, probably. And I tell him our old babe Chip that was directly out of Brandis Blackhawk was the best thing we've ever owned.
Mm-hmm.
And he argues with me and tells me Mississippi Belle was the best thing we ever owned. Now she's out of Gunsmoke Lizard Creek Tadpole. And, man, if I had to put my money on them, ooh, that's tough. I feel like whoever I bet on, I'd lose.
I got a feeling you want to take Babe. I think you should.
I would probably take Babe.
I think I know the answer to the next question, but if it was just 2 and it was Kane and Babe, who wins that?
Is it head-to-head or is it a group?
We're just doing head-to-head. They're the last 2 dogs.
Head-to-head, I don't think Babe can be beat.
I thought you'd say that. Well, that's good. Sometimes when I ask those questions about...
And it hurts my soul to say that she beat Kane head-to-head because he's extremely hard to beat head-to-head too. But
I love it. Talking about these old hounds, whether they're still living or not, I think it's so much fun.
Be able to breed her to Kane.
Yeah.
But that's never going to happen. So.
Yeah. Well, as you've been out there over the years, I know you've had to have some memorable hunts, whether it was in competition or whether you're just out hunting for fun. But can you share with us some of the more interesting things that you've seen over the years?
Oh, man. I've seen a bunch. Probably the most exciting and nervous and sick I've all been at once is when my daughter started trialing her own dog.
Oh.
Not just the dog that she claimed is hers, but this was her dog. A good buddy of mine, Adam South, down in Mississippi, gave her this puppy. And she was out of Daniel King's Dancing Rabbits Tough Dog and a double Gunsmoke Lizard Creek Tadpole female.
Mm.
We was at his house about 30 minutes after they were born, and she picked one out, and it was hers from day one. And when you start traveling with it, and she starts making the finals of UKC Nationals and goes to putting her in the Hall of Fame and winning Hounds of the Year with it. That there's nothing like it.
Now, I've got another question for you. I've heard that you're in the Hall of Fame. Is that true?
Yes, sir, in UKC and NKC.
Well, number one, congratulations. I know that was a lot of hard work. But could you tell us a little about what it takes to be inducted into one of these Halls of Fame?
They go by a point system.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Progressive Pack, if your dog wins High Point Hound of the Year, which is number one dog in the nation from January 1st to December 31st, you get 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
Well, me and my cousin went in together, so it took 250 points to get into the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
If you win just a regular club hunt, it's 1 point. If you win a state championship, it's five points, and you just accumulate your points that way. So I've won 17 different state championships. Most of them I've won multiple times.
Wow.
Won High Point Hand of the Year, I don't know how many times.
So
8 or 10 times. National runoffs, U.S. championship.
So you don't get in these Hall of Fames because they think you're a nice guy or they really like one or two of your hounds. You've got to earn it. You've got to go out there and perform.
You've got to earn it. Well, your dogs have got to earn it.
Right.
You know,
right.
When they win, you accumulate points. Mm-hmm. So
now, when you're getting your hounds ready for one of these hunts, is there anything special you do leading up to it?
You have to pay attention to the dogs. All dogs are different. Some need a little more solo. Some need set up a few days. You just kind of have to let the dog tell you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it depends on where I'm going to trial.
Mm-hmm.
So some parts of the country are a little more conservative in their judgment than others, and you have to plan accordingly.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
I'm always a firm believer in soloing because I like to run a dog that's on the edge, and I've got to tighten the screws on them a little bit before I go to town. So,
what kind of dog?
Solo's probably my big thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, what kind of dog does it take to win today? What kind of traits does it have to perform at this really high level where your dogs are performing?
A lot of intelligence. You've got to have a dog that can travel all over the country. They got to be able to travel well. Some dogs don't travel well. They don't eat well from home, or they get nervous and don't ride well and don't perform. Mm-hmm. And some of them won't perform the first day away from home. Like if you go to a Saturday and Sunday hunt, some won't show up Saturday, but they will Sunday. So you may have to show up Friday evening and get them on the ground a little bit, knock the dust off of them, I guess you'd say. But it takes a very strong dog mentally to travel all over the country every weekend, being put down and all kinds of different terrain, different states. You know, like I said, traveling, living out of the dog trailer, bouncing around, being run with everything under the sun. They got to be gritty and be intelligent about it, you know.
Well, I think that's very good, a very good observation. But I also want to ask you, could you tell us a little bit about what it looks like where you live and where you hunt, what the conditions are like, and then maybe talk a little bit about your favorite parts of the country to hunt? If it's not home, you know, what are some of the other parts of the country that you enjoy hunting and why?
Well, where I live, it's flat. Very, very flat and open. Getting more open all the time. It's got where more the wind blows 20 mile an hour about every day. Because we're taking out all the woods and the fence rows, and farmers are farming everything. It's changed a lot in the last 15 or 20 years here. But,
and Jonathan, you live in, just so I make sure I got it right, you're in Missouri?
Yes, sir, Southeast Missouri.
Southeast Missouri. Okay, thank you. Sorry about interrupting. So what are some of the other parts of the country that you like?
I like Kansas pretty well. Lots of game out there. I like running swamp rabbits in Mississippi pretty well. Down there in northern Mississippi, in the rolling hills, I really enjoy that. Georgia's pretty tough. Lots and lots of briars. I guess one of the better places would be up around Evansville, Indiana, up there in the coal mines. That's pretty hard to beat, to run rabbit dogs there.
Let me ask you another question about the dogs themselves. If you could draw up a dog, if you could create a dog for you, and it was the perfect hound for Jonathan, what would it look like? What would it sound like? How would it hunt? Describe your perfect dog if you could make one.
My perfect dog. My perfect dog would probably be 13 3/4, houndy made, good head, big ears, low set ears, good feet, straight-legged, intelligence is a given, very gritty. I want a dog that can take it all day, every day. And I want one that lives to jump a rabbit. They've got to be very intense.
Mm-hmm.
And I want them to have on their mind to catch every single rabbit that they jump. I want them to do it as fast as they possibly can, but they've got to have control at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No swinging, no cutting corners. I love a dog that can make a turn at full speed. No extra mouth. I don't do extra mouth. They can't stay here if they've got extra.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you have any advice for people that may be considering hunting and or showing? I didn't even ask you if you showed any dogs, but people that are considering entering a competition event, you have any advice for newcomers?
Hook yourself to a winner. Find somebody that's been doing it for a long time, and most people will bend over backwards to help you. Listen to everybody. You can learn things, whether you agree with the style they like or what they're promoting or not. You can learn something from everybody. Mm-hmm. Keep your head down, listen, and work hard.
Mm-hmm.
Run your dogs more than all your competitors are going to run. Pay attention to your dogs. A really good dog will teach you more than 15 people can.
Ain't that the truth? I love that advice about hooking yourself to a winner. I had somebody tell me a long time ago, if you hang around with 4 millionaires, you'll be the 5th. If you hang around with 4 drug addicts, you'll be the 5th. You know, you're so much of what you become and is your product of who you're around in your environment. So if you hook yourself to winners, you about have to become a winner.
3 or 4 good young men or women that was really interested in trialing, mm-hmm. and put some stuff in their hands, mm-hmm. that they can win with. Mm-hmm. You know, I enjoy doing that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what it's all about, is getting these youngsters going.
Don't get flustered the first 3 or 4 trials you go to and you don't do any good. Just stay after it. Mm-hmm. It takes a while to learn the ropes. Don't buy into all the buddy judging, and mm-hmm. that stuff's few and far between. It happens, but 8 times out of 10, that's just somebody whining.
Sure.
I mean, you know, the old saying, winners train.
Oh, yeah.
Losers complain. You know, there's a lot to that.
Well, I want to switch gears a little bit, because one of the things that I've learned about you is that you sell off the ground kennels. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, we do.
Well, I've always been interested in learning more about off the ground versus on the ground, and just would you talk us through what the benefits are of an off the ground kennel and maybe some of the common mistakes people make when they're building them? And also, I mean, here's a good chance to plug yourself. Why should they buy one from you?
I love the up off the ground kennels because they're so much cleaner, you know, especially for young dogs and all, when they're running around and they ain't smearing stuff everywhere and slinging it on you when you go in to feed them. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make when they build an above ground kennel is the quality of wire they use. They use some cheaper 2x4 welded wire, whatever they're using, and it don't last over time. The welds go to breaking, and then you have dogs getting out. Your wife calls you at work, and you got a dog on. You got to come home. Hope you get home before it's been run over. I've been there, done that. So the horse panels we use will last a lifetime. They're incredibly strong. No dog's going to stick their nose through it, stretch them out, and break them. They're there to last. Our kennels are very, very sturdy. They're going to last an incredibly long time. They're pretty lightweight, easy to move. When you put the insulated houses on them, they're second to none, in my opinion.
Well, what got you into this anyway? I mean, what made you want to start building these kennels?
Because I couldn't find one I liked.
I got you. Yeah.
But that was at a reasonable price.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so we just started building them for ourselves, and then word of mouth, guys started buying them, and now we're staying pretty busy selling them. You know.
Well, that's good. That leads me to a question: is these things have to be pretty heavy? Do people just come pick them up at your place, or can you ship them?
I haven't shipped them.
Okay.
Most people just come to the house and pick them up. 2 guys can pick them up, put them on a trailer. Very easy. Mm-hmm. It's not a struggle for 2 men to move it. So,
well,
I'm afraid shipping on them would cost you as much as the kennel cost.
Oh yeah, the prices on shipping today are ridiculous. Like a lot of other things.
We built a lot of rabbit box traps and ship them all over the country, and it's $18 to $25 just to ship a little bitty old rabbit box.
My goodness. Well, that was my next question. I also had seen where you guys sell a lot of box traps, and I got to tell you, they're pretty. I think you do some kind of wood burning or something on them.
Oh yeah,
gives them kind of an aged look. They're really cool looking. They'd look good in your man cave, even if you didn't actually put them out there in the field. But they're good looking box traps. Is that kind of the same deal? You started making those because you couldn't find?
We started making them for ourselves and went to selling a few, and then we put them on Facebook or Craigslist or whatever, and we've sold a bunch of them, and they work. They work very well. They don't have the lever on top to get hung in the vines or the limbs or anything. You can back them up in the thick stuff, and we caught 200 rabbits last fall and winter with them.
My goodness, that's a lot of rabbits.
Yes, it is.
Well, Jonathan, this has been fascinating. I really appreciate you taking time to talk to us about not only your hounds and your philosophy on hunting, and then also what you build and sell for hunters to make their lives easier. But is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have, or anything else that you want to talk about or promote?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
I'll probably think of something when we get off.
Yeah.
But right now, nothing comes to my mind. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you this. If people are interested in reaching out to you, I know you mentioned you'd be willing to help some youngsters get started in this competition thing. You also have what you're building and selling, whether it's off-the-ground kennels or box traps. If people are trying to find you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
They can send a message on Facebook, Moccasin Holler Beagles, or my telephone number is 573-587-2423.
Very good. Well, again, thank you so much for taking out time of your busy day and sharing a little bit with us. I really do appreciate it.
But thank you very much. I enjoyed it. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Buff in the Rough. And remember to like and subscribe if you want to be notified when we have new content available. And please send comments and suggestions to buffintherough@gmail.com.